decided. They would put the patient into a janitor's closet. Then they'd put a stopper in the sink and turn on the water. The water would eventually overflow and the inmate would be given a mop and told to clean up the mess. For about 5 minutes or so, the person would be left in the closet alone, and then a doctor would come back to check on him. If he was mopping the floor with the water still running, the doctor would know that the patient was not ready to go anywhere because he did not make the connection and fix the root of the problem. The patient would not be declared sane. Many people today are trying to mop up messes in their lives, families, or circumstances, and they are mopping hard. The problem is that even with all of that effort, there is still a mess because no connection has been made between the cause and effect of the situation. We must start with the cause, or else we will forever be cleaning up. We'll forever be mopping, but things will not get clean and dry. That's good to my soul. Because, you can clean up all you want, but if the flow of clutter, chaos, and confusion is present in your life, you have not made the connection to the cause and the effect, which is necessary. And I know when we think of chaos, we think of confusion and disorder, which would be true. But it's time to take the stopper out. The plug that causes your mess to stay right where it is. It's time to take it out. But the root, which would have been the running water, has to be cut off. So, we don't always want to make the connections because it may force us to expose some things about ourselves that we don't want to come to grips with. And so, sometimes we'll try to stray away from that instead of just staying in position to make sure that it is exposed and evident and we get to the root of it. I'm telling you, getting to the root of something is going to make all the difference in your life. The fear of getting to the root of something is another story. But for those who desire different lives, new mindsets, real results, we have to evaluate what is going on in our lives right now. The cause of something, it's what makes it happen. And usually the something that happens is something bad. And then the effect is a change that is a result or consequence of an action or cause. So you understand that cause is why something happened and effect is what actually happened. And the inability to connect the two will continue to lead to the chaos that you have going on. Now, of course, I know, that sometimes when we're experiencing the confusion and the chaos, we are drawn away from greater to lesser. So, you may be connected to God and then you're sitting in a seat with Satan because you allow all the things that are going on around you to constantly pull you away from his greatness. Now, of course, in saying that, it seems crazy that we would even do that, but it is so true. And when we listen to the lies of the enemy and our minds get all cluttered and confused, we often believe the lies and then we act according to that. But on tonight, somebody needs to be freed from the lies of the enemy and need to understand that in connecting the two things, the cause and the effect, is going to help you to move forward. And I also think that, we can't compromise ourselves and ignore the root that we have to identify. Sometimes we compromise ourselves and try to fit in and, you just don't want to be the oddball out. You want to be able to, okay, well, let me get with this group and I'm going to do what they do and I'm going to say what they say. And, I'm just trying to fit in. But you can't fit in when you were born to stand out. No matter how hard you try, it's not going to work. And sometimes we'll even lie to ourselves about who we are just because we're trying to get down with a different crowd or a crowd that we think we should be down with. But I'm telling you, it ain't going to work. And some things, whenever we get into a chaotic situation, it applies pressure to us. You know what I'm saying? It's a moment of being in panic or feeling fretful, fearful. You know, anytime something crazy breaks out, everybody is pretty much going crazy, you know. So in those situations, pressure is applied. But understand that sometimes some things only come out by applying pressure, you know, such as a tube of antibiotic ointment. If you squeeze it, then the ointment comes out. But only if you squeeze the tube is the ointment actually going to flow from the tube. And so in the same way, sometimes we have to be under pressure in order to really become who we're supposed to become. And so, you know, that can occur in the midst of chaos. You know, sometimes you are actually called in the midst of the chaos. When things are going on and going all crazy all around you, making zero sense, and you're trying to run from it, sometimes you're just supposed to be still and listen. And that's what God has been working with me on. You know, earlier this week, Thursday on my live, I was telling y'all that I was riding and I was like, God, what do you want me to do? And he just said, be still. And I'm like, okay, you know, I can do that. But in doing that, what exactly do you mean or do you want me to do while being still? And he simply responded, listen, which we often neglect to do. You know, we'd rather be talking or over talking people than to actually listen and hear what is being said. So, you know, on tonight, we need to be in a position to actually hear from God as he is instructing us on what we need to do and where we need to go. See, some of us possess gifts that we can't even exercise or use because of the people and places we go and be around. You know, so there things are, you know, suppressed that we need to allow to come to surface. And not only that, when we think about our past, some people, whenever you're going through the chaotic stuff you're going through or the challenges that you may be facing, it's an opportunity sometimes to testify and tell about your past or hear somebody else's testimony. But people are so apt to sugarcoat what is going on and mask all the bad only to express the things that were good. But that's dangerous. And, you know, it's a disadvantage to those who are trying to grow and become better in their spiritual walk, because everything isn't all good all the time. And just because we get in a place of craziness or clutter or confusion or chaos, you know, that disorder that we experience, we are still given the opportunity to change, even in having to experience those experiences. You know, God is so gracious and so merciful, and he will give us an opportunity to turn things around, for things to be a little different in our lives in a better way. So on that, you know, I just say that we need to learn to take advantage of all the opportunities. And some opportunities, please don't get me wrong, they are not the ones that you're supposed to take. But if you are listening to God, you will know when the right opportunity comes, what you should do, where you should go. Because he's telling you, you got to move. You know, you're going to be still and listen, but in the same token, you are also being forced to move out of your position of craziness or chaos and the things that have led you to that place. All the different things that you have had to go through. And, you know, sometimes whenever God starts talking to us, you'll be like, you know, oh, I can't do that. Well, I would, but Lord, you know, somebody else would be better at it. Or I just can't do it because of my children. I can't do it because of my finances. I can't do it because of my place of employment. All those excuses, instead of simply doing what you are being told to do. Because if he is calling you to do anything different than what you're currently doing, he has equipped you with what you need to do it. The supernatural force that is in us to allow us to go and do the things that he's called us to do is present at all times. You know, when you go out, you're going to be able to do it because it's in you. He's placed it in you. He's not going to send you out to do something that he hasn't given you the power to do. He'll give you the words. He'll give you the courage. He'll give you the platform, whatever it may be. He's going to do it for you because he's sending you. So he needs us to simply follow the directions, to listen, Don't be distracted by all the mess that's going on and all the drama. And, just start to focus on listening to him. Focus on connecting to him and get out of this place of, being fearful and anxious and just focusing on the troubles. Because the troubles are going to come up, on and off throughout our entire lives. That isn't going to go away. And they teach us anyway. They're very teachable moments whenever we have these hardships and these trials, even when we hate them and we just can't hardly bear it. I'm telling you, it is a teachable moment. Learn the lesson. Then listen to God and then do what he's telling you to do. See, when we get in a place of being restless, uncomfortable, agitated, just ill and angry, a place that many of us have been or are right now, it's, in that moment that you realize God is telling you to do something else. That is why you're so uncomfortable. That's why you're restless. That's why everything is making you mad and causing you to be upset, because you need to listen and you need to move. So you got to answer the call. Stop making the excuses and know that God is not limited by our limitations. Not now, not ever. Oh, I say, fill my cup, Lord. Fill me all the way up. Make me whole and continue to use me more and more every day. I struggle, I go through just like all of you. But at the end of every day, I understand that God got me through it and I'm going to keep going, even when it hurts, because it's worth it. So, this week, let me do what you do best, and that is being you. I absolutely love you guys. This week's shout out goes to my handsome husband, Philip King, behind the scenes over there, y'all. I know you can't see him, but he's hot. That's it for this week.
Let's go.
What, Mike? I love you. See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in. Join us each and every Sunday at 6 p.m. on WCLN 1170 AM, channel 16 cable TV.